Welcome to HOWSTUFFINMYCARWORKS channel. Today's video is about installing a set of C6 Corvette wheels on this 4th generation Pontiac Firebird Trans-Am. On our last video, I painted the car. This car, when I bought it, still had the green paint on it, and the previous owner had installed a set of aftermarket wheels that really didn't go well with the car. Once I painted it, it was so noticeable that even some of our viewers left some comments about how those wheels didn't look too nice. What our viewers didn't know, however, is that I had already purchased this set of wheels that I was going to install on. The reason why I couldn't install them right away is because I needed the spacers for the rear ones. So if you have a Trans-Am and you would like to install a set of wheels like this from a C6 Corvette on it, you will need 1.5 inch spacers for the rear, because the way these wheels are set up, it goes deep in and it rubs against the wheel well. Now I purchased a set of Hub-Centric spacers, which this is going to minimize wheel vibration. I'll show you what I mean by Hub-Centric in a minute. I'll give you a close-up look. So these wheels obviously will make this car look a lot nicer, and it will help me with the quest of modernizing the car, because it all started with getting rid of the outdated green paint. Now I'm installing a set of modern wheels on it, and not just regular wheels, but C6 Corvette wheels. Once I compare them to the wheels that this car has, you're going to be able to see what a difference. So let's get started. So this is what I meant by Hub-Centric spacers. What this does, the wheel fits over it just like it would on the axle of the car, so they're centered, and when you're driving at high speeds, the wheel is not going to try to move. First step, of course, is to remove the old wheels. These wheels have a cover that can be removed just by the use of an Allen wrench. As you can tell, these were not the stock wheels I already mentioned. These were aftermarket, but the previous owner had a different taste than I do, and this is not the kind of wheel that I like, or the kind of wheel that goes with the car, so we're getting rid of them. Corvette wheels are staggered. The rear wheels are 19 inches and the front wheels are 18. These are Z-rated tires, obviously, for high speeds. Now these were 18 inches also, but they were 18 on both the front and the rear. Now the width, the front is not as noticeable as the rear, but you can see that there is a difference. So the Corvette wheels are wider, and this is going to give it a heck of a lot better grip when going around the turns at high speeds. These wheels are going to grip a heck of a lot better. I gotta give the previous owner credit. He did install Z-rated tires, so I'm not saying that the car didn't handle good. It was okay, but this is going to be so much better. So that's how they look side by side before installing it. And this is the difference on the width on the front wheel. I'm going to apply a light coat of anti-seize to the wheel studs before installing the new wheels on. Well, new to this car, they're not new, they're used. So the front doesn't need spacers. The fitment on the front is okay. when I was doing the test fit on him, I knew right away that I was going to need wheel spacers. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to install a wheel nut that needs a special key, so that way it's a little bit harder for somebody that may want these wheels and may want to borrow them from taking them. Problem with this, it just needs a different socket. It's a different size. Aside from that, so I'm just going to snug them with the impact with the low air pressure. And then once I put the car down, then I'll go ahead and finish, torquing them. Alright, so this will be for now. That way they're firm. And this is how it looks like before setting the car on the ground. So I have the rear tire off, and this is where the bigger difference is. So the very first difference is that we're dealing with a 19-inch wheel on the rear versus 18. Where it's going to get the biggest benefit is on the width. You can see the difference on the width right there. So the spacers are going to come with lug nuts, okay, but these lug nuts are really not the ones for the wheels. These lug nuts are going to be the ones that are going to be used to fasten the spacer to the axle. And then the lug nuts of the car are going to be the ones used to fasten the wheel to the spacer. One of the things that I'm going to do in the next few days, if you notice, I have the regular open-end lug nuts that this car had, aside from the lug nut that I put on. And the reason was, the old wheel had a cover. So it didn't really matter what lug nuts it had. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, like I said, in a few days, I'm going to go ahead and buy a nice set of lug nuts that is going to enhance the look. Because right now with the open end, it doesn't look as good as it should. So, but for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and use the stock lug nuts that I already had. That way we can concentrate on the look of the wheels themselves, as far as how they fit on the car. So when installing the spacers, it's no different than installing the wheels. I'm going to go ahead and apply a slight coat of anti-seize to the wheel studs. Not much. So the spacer goes over the axle. It's a Hub-Centric even on the inside too. So like I said, this minimizes vibration. And how I knew I needed 1.5-inch spacers is when I got the wheels, I put them on the car, and as soon as I realized that they were rubbing against the inside, plus they were too deep inside, even if they didn't rub, the way it was in the car, it was so far in that it wasn't going to look good. Even Corvette wheels were not going to look good on this car without the spacers. So I ordered them, and I had to wait till they arrived for me to install them. And that's why I said some of the viewers left comments on the previous video when I painted the car about they actually call the other wheels ugly, which is probably true. So right now I'm just going to snug them with the air, low pressure. Okay, I need to torque these wheel nuts before putting the wheel on. So what I have is I have the emergency brake applied, and I'm going to go ahead and then torque him to the same torque that the wheel nuts for the wheel require, which is 100 foot-pounds. So I torqued them in a diagonal sequence to set the spacer and avoid any warpage. So now that they're all torqued, I'm just going to go ahead and double check them all. Alright, so these are on secure and they're not going to be coming off. This is how the spacers look up close, just like that. Like I said, they fit over the axle, and then the wheel is going to fit over this lip very snug. So same thing, low pressure, just to set it on the wheel spacer. Alright, so the wheel's on and wheel nuts are snugged. I still need to torque them, which I can do it either way. I can torque them right now because I got the emergency brake applied, or I can torque it when I lower it down to the ground. But since I have everything ready, I'm just going to go ahead and torque them. I'm going to use the same diagonal sequence as I did with the wheel spacer, so no need to illustrate that right now. You get the idea. So that's what's going to take place. So all four wheels are installed, and this is how the car looks when still up in the air. Alright, so I got the car on the ground. Now it's time to torque the front wheels. So I'm going to repeat this procedure on the other wheel, and all four will be torqued. And this is the look of the car now that it's on the ground with the Corvette wheels on. They modernized the car and they flow better with the new color that this car has. And this is how cool the car looks outside with the new wheels on. Totally different car. So this summarizes today's video. The car still has some issues that I'm going to be repairing in the upcoming weeks, and I'll be filming some videos and I'll post them to the channel. But right now I just wanted to put the wheels on to give it this better look, especially after the paint. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.